Welcome to the Pimp My Setup highlights for episode number 108. The first setup was submitted by Jonathan.
I don't like the fact that I see in, like, if you look in the right corner, he's got the tower, and then hiding like behind the tower is his, looks like a flat screen TV. I don't see the functionality there. It's like, you got your nice setup right in front of you, and then you gotta like peek around the tower to watch your TV.
I think that you needed the bigger Linmon instead of having that secondary table to the side for the TV and whatnot, because you do look a little bit cramped. The speakers are kind of complaining because, you know, the ones behind the mixer, the ones on the far left, like, it just would have been a lot easier if you had a little bit more real estate on the desk.
My only other suggestion for the desk to make it look a little bit cleaner, maybe move it so that instead of being side by side, you sort of make it like an L-shaped desk, so that you free up that window space. You could also put like a little, like you said, like a chest of drawers or something there where you can hide your mixer. And you have the nice L desk going around in that corner versus being, you know, just all up against that window.
Jonathan scored a 65. The next setup was submitted by Zach. The right side with that shelf, that just doesn't fit because of the color. Maybe paint it if you really want, but when I see that in the setup, especially because the left side's empty, when I see that thing on the right side, it kind of just kills that symmetry that you had going on.
I don't know the space he's working with or how big the room is, but if you don't need to be looking at that directly to your right, I would just move it somewhere else in the room, move it out of the way, because that's such a perfect like nook, because it looks like the walls aren't perfectly 90 degrees. It looks like they open up a little bit.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, and it looks like that's your setup, like that's your den there. Like, get rid of that side piece. Doesn't need to be there.
And when I see the walls like that, I immediately thought, because the lighting is already badass, but I would love if he had like a spotlight on the left and right side from far back shining down. Like, it looks almost like it's a presentation.
It's
like
almost theatrical. Like,
yeah, it looks super cool. And a lot of people are saying that the desktop is a bit crowded, and I would agree.
Yeah.
Especially when you have the Xbox there, that if you could put the Xbox elsewhere, it might actually play to your favor. Zach scored an 84. The next setup was submitted by Gage. The desk isn't anything crazy. It's, you know, kind of small for what he's doing. It almost works perfectly, but there's no room for expansion if you ever want to put something on his desk.
If you're gonna have an all black desk and all black, you know, accessories and monitors, you have to have some sort of like personality around the desk or on it to go along with it.
It's so simple. I don't want to just keep talking about it. Your cable management behind your PC is definitely bleh. And you could easily hide it, so I don't know why you just let it look like that. Gage scored 59. The next setup was submitted by Matthew.
I think he just answered us in the chat. His girlfriend is on the left and he is on the right. Speakers, the way they're set up, like I'm looking at both the setups now. It's like one is really nice where it's like ear level, and then on the left you're like hiding it behind the monitor. Don't do that.
Cutting it off.
Please don't do that.
I hate how the monitor is mounted above on the left side.
Yeah, I did that for a while, and I don't like looking up and down. It's just not for me. I tried it to like save desk space because I don't have that much space to begin with, but I didn't. Not for me.
But it's just like this setup is such a cool combined setup, but I don't know how to critique it. Matthew scored a 69. The next setup was submitted by Joshua. What an insane setup. I mean, you can tell not having kids was a good decision. But I love he's got the gallant setup for the desk, great shelves showing off all his personality, really just the whole atmosphere, tons of storage, everything's very nicely well put, cable management's great, vacuum floor. Not a big fan of under the PC, how all that's just kind of laying on the floor, but I'm sure there's reason behind it, because I think if he needed to buy something to put it on, he would have, because he's an adult. He knows what he needs. Joshua scored a 90. The next setup was submitted by Thomas. Great equipment, honestly, a lot of awesome stuff, like keyboard, mouse pad, everything you have is dope. It's just there's no like wow factor. It's just kind of like like I would put the subwoofer on the floor, I'd clean up a little bit.
My only suggestion, if you know, take this for what it's worth, just trash that desk, get a new one, or spray paint it black, something, because it doesn't. I hate when there's two different tone woods and they don't match with anything else in the room.
Exactly.
You've got all this great like PC gear, like, you know, the tower, the monitor, like you said, the peripherals, everything is really get rid of the Yeti. Get rid of that. Everything else though is nice.
Thomas scored 59. The next setup was submitted by Fahad.
You know, I am a fan, and I've seen a few setups like this where, you know, the monitors aren't together, they're separate because they're used for separate things, and I actually dig that a lot. You know, it looks like he has it set up like it's a gaming setup with his PS4 there, and I don't I don't mind it. I'm really digging it.
I think maybe the PC, like the tower, is the first thing that I don't really understand. Like, yeah, maybe he's showing off the window, but even then, it's not that much of a window on this PC. It's
yeah, you got the monitor blocking it also. It's just...
So there's really no reason there. I mean, maybe cable length plays into it. Fahad scored an 82. The next setup was submitted by Steph. What happened was this guy's got a lot of boxes that need to go. The speakers are in a terrible spot. You can't hear them unless your ears are dislocated from your body and glued to the ceiling.
Wait, Matt, be nice. Maybe he's a giraffe.
Yeah, that could happen. But then again, his usability for his monitors would be awful.
Yeah.
Maybe his ears are pointed upwards and I'm just being rude. My bad.
I don't get the placement of the furniture. It looks very awkward to me because you have like the shelf, which is hanging on the bookcase by like 2 inches.
Yeah, it's like overlap. What the hell?
And like the desks aren't aligned, and like the usability for that desk on the left to the bookcase, it's like, how do you get under there? Like the pole is in your way. Just, I don't know.
Steph scored a 77. The next setup was submitted by Derek. I do want to let people know that the last 2 are fast passes. I would have responded like, hey man, put a little bit more time into some of the cables and stuff like that. But he was really eager to get on. Don't tell me you don't have a lot of room, dude. It looks like you could fit like 7 of these setups in that room.
It's not bad. He has a lot of great peripherals here. But dude, Derek, where's your cable management? There is none.
He put himself to the far right.
Yeah.
I hate that. Why don't you like center it? Because the TV looks like, I don't even care about the desk. The TV really bothers me when it's not in the center of the wall. Derek scored a 46. Final setup was submitted by Jason. And you guys probably remember Jason. He was on the show, episode 68. And he was also in the top 8 setups out of the 100 episodes that I've done. The last setup was great in terms of each category, but it wasn't something that I would want to have. But this, I would want to have. We've been seeing way too many black and red. It's so overdone. They all look the same. They're all pretty meh at this point because we've seen too many. But this is the first red and white that I've seen that is just beautiful. I mean, the fact that, here's the thing, I always tell people it's about presentation, and in this scenario, the wallpapers are part of the presentation. I mean, I love that kind of like vector art. It looks so good and it matches with the drawers. I love the IKEA integration here. I mean, if this was my setup and I needed to do something to make it better, it would honestly, the answer would just be wait for the next big thing. Jason scored a whopping 98 and first place. Thanks for watching the Pimp My Setup highlights for episode number 108.